Can I begin by saying that it was a great honour today to welcome the President of Somalia, President Hassan Sheikh Mohamud. He came to the Council today. I was privileged to have a long discussion as well. We recognise that Somalia has made remarkable progress, and I'm very proud of the close partnership that we have, the European Union, with Somalia, and see Somalia arrive at an historic opportunity to leave behind over 2 decades of conflict. It was very clear from our discussion that there remains much to be done, and we're determined to help Somalia advance further towards lasting peace and prosperity. In the autumn, we'll host a conference where we hope to create a compact, a new deal between Somalia and the international community. At that occasion, we will focus on reconstruction, building the political institutions in Somalia, promoting socio-economic development, and helping to establish security and the rule of law. I hope that the recent progress in Somalia is a positive example to many countries in the region. And it's clear in our discussions with the President and with the Deputy Prime Minister who accompanied him that a precondition for peace is going to be stability in the wider neighbourhood. The message today was that much has been achieved, but of course we cannot be complacent, and we will continue to do all we can from the European Union to support Somalia in what we've called our comprehensive approach. We were unanimous too in expressing our gratitude and support to France for its efforts in fighting terrorism in Mali. Since our special council meeting 2 weeks ago, we've stepped up the European Union response and accelerated the preparation for the EU training mission. We've increased humanitarian assistance, pledged support to the African-led mission in Mali, and created a clearinghouse to support that. The Malian government and the National Assembly have responded by adopting the roadmap for political transition. Next Tuesday, we will host a special ministerial meeting of the Support and Follow-up Group on Mali, which will be co-chaired by the African Union, the UN and ECOWAS. That meeting will reinforce international cooperation, support the concrete implementation of the roadmap, and follow up the International Donors Conference at which the European Union announced a contribution of €50 million in support of the Africa-led operation. We'll shortly be formally launching our training mission in Mali, and its head, General Lecointre, has already made his first visit to the country. And earlier this week, we saw member states pledging staff and resources for this mission. I believe our response has been fast and well coordinated, and it will continue. Ahead of next week's European Council, we had an in-depth discussion on our southern neighbourhood, focusing on Syria and Egypt. I've invited Special Envoy Lakhdar Brahimi to the next Foreign Affairs Council on the 18th of February. Our focus is to give all the support we can to his efforts to find a political resolution to the terrible crisis. As you know, we've actively engaged with the opposition, and we've encouraged them to continue working to develop their own internal structures while remaining committed to the principles of inclusiveness, human rights and the rule of law. I don't need to tell any of you that the situation is clearly getting worse. The level of violence is totally unacceptable. While we do all we can to work with our international partners on a political solution, we will continue to help the people of Syria as much as we can. We are the largest humanitarian donor to the Syrian crisis. The European Union has already given €358 million in aid to Syrians inside and outside the country. And this was confirmed again at the humanitarian conference in Kuwait yesterday. On the 18th of February, we will continue our work and look at the greater detail, as I've said, with Mr. Brahimi joining us. We, of course, continue to watch closely the developments in Egypt. We remain in constant touch with the government as well as with the opposition. We absolutely say that inclusive dialogue is important for the future of the country, and we're committed to do all that we can to support transition to democracy, to help economic recovery, which, as you know, is so important to the political progress, and we need to stay firmly engaged. The recent violence we've seen, particularly in Port Said, was worrying and underlined the need for an enhanced and inclusive political dialogue amongst all groups in society. In this respect, the most recent signals from the opposition are very welcome. We covered a number of other issues, but I just wanted to finally mention our exchange of views on EU policy towards the Arctic, on the basis of the communication that we have developed between the Commission and the Service last June. The Arctic is increasingly important to the European Union. We're keen to intensify our dialogue with the Arctic states to meet the challenges together of safeguarding the environment and taking the opportunities the Arctic offers in a sustainable way. As you know, we have applied for observer status in the Arctic Council. Thank you.